X-Men Apocalypse. Dark, dangerous, death. There's a lot of people killed in this movie. I mean, from the very beginning, within the first 10 minutes, they slaughter a lot of people. And pretty much everywhere Apocalypse goes, he kills the crap out of a lot of people. I wasn't expecting that. It was good. It was good. Because you got to figure, if you've got a homicidal, lunatic, mutant god that's been around forever, then he probably has killed people, and that's, you got to figure that that's part of it. They had him. He was really, really powerful, uber powerful. He was a little bit different from the comic. In the comic, he got a lot of his power from Celestials. And since they had the Celestials in Guardians of the Galaxy, another property, it makes sense that they couldn't really do that. So they changed it a little bit, and they said that he was like absorbing the power of other mutants, which, you know, it's kind of plausible. It's a good alternative to what happened in the books. Oscar Isaac did a great job as Apocalypse. He was menacing. Apocalypse in the books and in the cartoon, he doesn't really care about anybody else. And there's a scene where he looks at Angel and he goes, worthless. And I'm thinking, that's Apocalypse. He'll use you, but if you can't do anything for him, he'd just as soon kill you. So it was actually pretty good. It got too much mystique, I think. You know, Jennifer Lawrence is a good actress. She is. But she's got that whole hunger wars thing wrapped around her. And, you know, it kind of felt like Hunger Wars or Hunger Games. Kind of felt like that when I was watching it. And I'm looking at it and I'm like, wow, that's kind of crazy. Because, you know, she was leading a bunch of people, you know, it just felt like Hunger Games to me. And in the book, she doesn't lead the X-Men at any point. She leads other teams, but she's never led the X-Men, so I don't know what that was all about. There's a thing where Quicksilver is tempted to tell Magneto that he's his son. And I'm thinking, okay, that would be a good reveal. Hey, Magneto, guess what? You are my father. That would be cool. But at the same time, there's another reveal. Kurt Wagner, the Nightcrawler, is Mystique's son. And I'm wondering if they're going to get to it. And it's funny because in the movie, they're looking at her and they're like, "Oh, you're not blue." And he pops his head out and says, "I'm blue." And I'm like, they're going to say it, they're going to do it. And they didn't do it, but it was funny. They kind of touched on it. I was wondering, after this movie, what would they be able to do next? You know, what other stories did the X-Men have that were big stories? And they let us know. They hint about Mr. Sinister with the Essex, and they hint at Jean Grey becoming the Phoenix. She's having a nightmare and her walls are, you know, burning and swelling up. And I'm thinking, Okay, she knows deep down that apocalypse is coming, and the phoenix buried deep inside of her is trying to get out. So it's trying to get out and manifesting itself. It's burning the walls, and I was like, that's kind of cool. And then later, in order to defeat him, she just goes full on phoenix. Spoiler. This is a spoiler. She goes full on phoenix and she fights him. But that fight with him at the end was probably the best one. The CGI wasn't that great in this movie. You could see a lot of things and look at it and like, he's standing behind a screen, standing in front of a green screen. You could see it. But I mean, like with the Avengers, you know, and Captain America, you know that it's not, you know, real. Iron Man's not really flying through the air and blasting people. But it looked good. It looked really well. It looked really cool. But a lot of the CGI and Apocalypse was, they should have hired another team, I think, because it didn't look that great. They saved some money there, and that kind of sucked. But with Mr. Sinister, they can go on and do the Morlocks in the tunnel. The Morlocks are a group of mutants that don't look human, like Cyclops looks human, Wolverine looks human, Jean Grey looks human. The Morlocks call them the pretty ones. But they're people who look like animals or have melted looking skin or something like that. So they live in the sewers. Like H.G. Wells' Morlocks. They live underground. So they live in the sewers. And the big thing with that is Mr. Sinister wants to get a few of them and slaughter the rest. So he sends a mutant team down there of like killers, and they go down there and they slaughter people. The X-Men have to step in and fight this team that's tough enough to kill hundreds of superpowered mutants in one whack. So it was a good fight. Also, with the Phoenix, teasing the Phoenix, they can do the Phoenix Saga, which is pretty good. She gets her full power. I'm not sure how they're going to do it because the Phoenix is like an alien presence that comes down and impersonates Jean Grey. And the Avengers actually find Jean Grey later, and they just kind of make it like she's got those powers. It wasn't her. You know what I mean? It was a completely different person. But later they kind of make it seem like she's got those abilities that another person had that was impersonating her. So I don't know. So we'll see. But either way, they've got opportunity now for 2 major stories, and I guess really the only 2. Yeah, basically there's a couple more. So, but either way, it's a great movie. They kill a crap ton of people. They blow up billions. I mean, if you think the Avengers destroyed a lot of stuff, you've got to see this. They destroy a lot of stuff. And then the people that were bad, some of them were like, oh, well, I realized we were bad. And they just come over to the good guys. You know, they were killing people, blowing stuff up. But all you got to do is say you're sorry and it's cool. I mean, Charles Xavier is going to make people forget that the X-Men were there anyway, so, you know, I guess they're kind of above the law. They really are vigilantes because they can do whatever they want to do. Xavier's going to make people forget, so, I don't know. It was a good movie, though. A lot of action, a lot of explosions. Apocalypse gave me a good feeling for Thanos. One guy that can fight a bunch of other people successfully, because Thanos is more powerful than Apocalypse, sort of. So that ought to be good. But a great movie. If you saw it, tell me about it. Write in the comments. Tell me what you thought about it. If you haven't seen it, got questions, ask questions. But as always, if you like the video, subscribe right here. and like or don't like.